inside the off stump. Oh, he's caught it! I don't believe it! Tom Kohler-Cadmore has caught the most magnificent catch. That short third man is the end of Daniel Sams, and Somerset have won the Vitality Class 2023. They've bowled Essex out for 131.
Hello there, this is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, the Somerset Cricket Podcast. My name's Ian Shepherd. Joining me this evening, I've got President of the club, who is now fully resident in God's greatest county, if you don't count Devon, which is where myself and Gibbo were born. But anyway, President of the club, Peter Wanless. Peter, how's it going? Are you fully unpacked now? I see the Somerset flag, the dragon is on the flagpole, and the barn is full of beer, I hear, and the finest cider in the land.
It is, yeah. I wouldn't say we're fully unpacked, but one of our fellow supporters gave me a Somerset flag, which we hoisted and played Blackbird to when Somerset beat Gloucestershire, which was a fine moment for the village. And as you say, yes, this house comes complete with party barn, so we need to work out what to call that, since you've taken the Van der Merwe Pavilion title. So let's see who the player of the season is, and we can return to that one. But yeah, no, very happy. Within 10 minutes of the Cooper Associates County Ground, what is not to like about that? I'm living my perfect life.
Absolutely. Well, the Roelof Van der Merwe Pavilion nearly got renamed. It would have been the Greenhouse if Ben had scored about 10 more against Durham a few years ago. But obviously he's now off to Leicestershire, so unlikely it's going to be that one unless we get one of his siblings or family members joining the staff. And also with us tonight is the voice of cricket on BBC Radio Somerset, newly reinstated for the knockout stages of the One Day Cup. It's Anthony Gibson. Gibbo, how are you going? Safe trip back from New Road yesterday?
Yeah, flawless. Well, disappointing though, wasn't it? But
it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice being back commentating. I watched a couple of the qualifying games in the One Day Cup. Not all of them, but I watched the morning against Northants and the morning against Warwickshire as well. And I've been really, really impressed with the way that the youngsters have gone. It's been really, really good watching, and great crowds at Taunton as well.
Absolutely. Paul Tweddle mentioned that when I spoke to him last night. Sort of one of his highlights of the competition was the great support which they got at Taunton. It was a good crowd yesterday up at New Road as well for the semi-final. Should we start there then? Was it a bridge too far for that young batting lineup? I had a look at the numbers today. I think Lammonby's the oldest at 25, Goldsworthy 24, and then you got Josh Thomas, Archie Vaughan, James and Thomas Rue, all sort of 21 or under. So it's quite an inexperienced batting lineup in terms of age, and I just kind of feel that they kind of all had a bad day, apart from James Rue yesterday chasing, was it 275 up at New Road.
Even James Rue should have been caught in the slips.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, I think we just got outplayed, and there's no harm in that. I mean, I think Worcester were pretty much at full strength. Only Adam Hose had been kidnapped by the other competition for them. He wasn't playing. So that Pakistani lad they had, Karim Shahzad, he looked pretty decent after his first two balls, one of which went for 5 wides. He certainly found his radar pretty quick, made life very tricky for us.
I think he was a bit underestimated by Lammonby and Goldsworthy. I think maybe because of that first over, they thought this bloke is here for the taking, and he's got a reputation of being either copper or gold. And he started off as copper, but it didn't take him long to be bowling really quick. And both Lammonby and Goldsworthy going to pull balls that weren't short enough and were onto them too quickly, top edges. And they, as you just said, Sheps, I mean, they're the two most experienced batsmen in the top order. And Goldsworthy in particular was batting really, really nicely, timing the ball beautifully. And Lammonby's been in great form. And those 2 wickets, I think, were absolutely crucial. Poor shot selection, and as I say, I think they just underestimated Karim Shahzad and paid the price.
I always like to sort of look at games and think when do when does Somerset feel that they're ahead in the game? And I think the only time that they kind of really felt ahead in the game was when they were sort of 20 odd for none before they lost that first wicket, and then after, sort of while we were bowling and after that, I kind of felt that we're
234 for 7. When Worcester were 234 for 7 with 3.4 overs to go, I thought we were well ahead in the game then, and then we went for 41 off the last three and a half overs, and that shifted the momentum. Worcester got really bogged down against some very, very good bowling from Jack Leach again, and Ben Green had been bowling well, but then they got away at the end. That shifted the momentum, and then we didn't bat very well.
Yeah, I felt that pitch was one that favoured accumulation rather than the big shots, and it was young South African Daniel Latigan who opened the batting for them. 78 off 82, got a questionable LBW to Jack Leach. It looked like certainly to be heading a long way down the leg side. But he just batted time, he accumulated, hit the bad ball, didn't really try and force it. And I think Peter, he just seemed to be the difference between the two sides. That, just that patient accumulation. He ended up scoring at nearly 95 of 100 balls was his strike rate. And if a few of our lads had batted like that, we probably would have got home.
Yeah, I didn't think that the wicket was as easy as all that, and you needed to get your head down and get established, as you said. And so, it could have been 255, ended up being 275. That did feel a little bit of a stretch. I think the Worcester committee folk were reckoning on 270, 280 was par, and so we're feeling they'd gone a bit slow. And we've chased down those sorts of totals, haven't we, time and time again, though there comes a time when you can't keep on doing it. I thought that they were joking about the guy who took all the wickets around his batting. Shazad, his batting was he probably got his high score, one not out, as well. Don't think anyone had seen him score a run before, so they were cheering that as well, as ending up with 275. I thought it was going to be close, to be honest, and it was a great toss to win, but in the end, one game too far, and so much to celebrate and enjoy through a succession of really great games and good performances, but once again, just not quite to be in the final analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just casting my mind back to last year's semi. I mean, Goldsworthy got a big. We were chasing 304, 320, something like that, weren't we? I should have looked. I'm doing this from memory. Goldsworthy got 100. I think Umi got maybe a patient 50. And that was kind of the backbone of that run chase, but. Yeah, like I said, it feels we would have had Umeed, we'd had Dixon last year as well, who's a bit more experienced. So, but I think as Dan made the point, it's unlikely that we're going to see this side again. We think probably both Roos will be in the other competition next year. Maybe Lammerby might get back in there. We've got no Umeed now, obviously no Green, no Aldridge, no Dave, even though only sort of played the one game. So it was kind of just felt that maybe it would have been there this year, but who knows what side Hampshire would have put out. They'd have probably recalled Sonny Baker and Liam Dawson, and got Robin Smith out of retirement, and Gordon, Barry Richards, and a few others as well.
Yeah, Sonny Baker's got called up for the England team, hasn't he? So he wouldn't have been there otherwise. I mean, that is the one that would have been great to see. That's the only reason I would have wanted to play Hampshire in the final, I think, to go up against Sonny Baker, and I think everyone would have enjoyed that. But I think all the neutrals are now going to be with Worcester for the final, aren't they? Given the Hampshire's selection policy, which just feels wrong.
Yeah, people talk about the spirit of the game, and it's often very difficult to kind of quantify. But this is one of those where this doesn't feel in the spirit of the game. or in the spirit of the competition. It's why Brian Rose got done all those years ago. It was within the rules, but felt not to be in the spirit of the game. So, and that was up at Worcester as well. Yeah. I think we were discussing yesterday. We wanted James Rue to declare when it was raining, so just so we could get home a little bit early. Has my video stopped?
Yes.
Yes, but I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Right. I'm just gonna. Right, we'll just pause things here a little bit, and then I'll see what I can do. Where do we leave it then? James Rue. We wanted James Rue to do a Brian Rose and declare so we could all go home, but then we were treated to the vagaries of Duckworth Lewis. Target reduced by 3 runs, even though we only lost 12 overs. And
well, yeah, but it was fair enough. But, yeah. I mean, the Duckworth Lewis par when they went off when we were 109 for 7 was 221. You can't really complain too much.
We were a wee bit behind, but as we were trying to keep the faith. We were sort of casting our minds back to Roloff van der Merwe's heroics.
Yes, well, we were doing that in commentary
a few years ago.
Didn't work, did it?
No, not to be. So Somerset losing by 131 runs on Duckworth Lewis yesterday. Can we quickly mention Sonny Baker's confirmed debut for England in the one-dayer, starting in a couple of days' time? Bittersweet, I guess. Devon pathway, Somerset pathway. Yeah, in the a la Jamie Overton. It took a move away from the county ground for him to realise his potential and realise it in less than 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame.
Yeah,
it's a shame. But I don't know the ins and outs of his departure from Somerset. But as I understand it, it was his decision.
Yes,
he was offered a new contract, and he decided he wanted to go to Hampshire. So you can't blame him for that. I'm just very pleased to see that he's doing well.
Yeah,
and I watched him a bit in the 100, just to see how he was getting on, and I've been very impressed. Very impressed. He's got genuine pace, and he's skiddy because he's not very tall. Just hope to goodness that he stays fit, and that he doesn't get this recurrence of a back problem.
Do you see things in his bowling that you didn't see previously? Because he was a fantastic talent, wasn't he? When he was with us, it's just he was injured a lot of the time, and you'd like to think that talent would have shone through and he'd made the same accelerated progress with us. I don't know, but yeah, it's great to see him in the team.
Wouldn't surprise me if it has. I think if he's done a number of podcasts and interviews, and he talks about this notebook that he's got, and he's continually wants to absorb as much knowledge as possible from as many people in the game as he can. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was included, maybe a little tweak here or there to his bowling action, particularly, as you said, Gibbo, with the amount of injuries that he's had over the past couple of years to sort of try and mitigate that. But I think he's definitely not a cricketer who wants to sit on his laurels, and he continually wants to improve. And I think now that Jamie's announced this kind of Red Bull semi-retirement for the time being, that I think he's probably odds on to be on the plane for the Ashes.
Do you really think so? I don't know. I can't see him bowling long spells in red ball cricket, Sonny Baker. I really can't, any more than I can really see Jamie. Well, he's not going to now, and I can entirely understand why he's made that decision. It's jolly sight easier to bowl 4 overs.
You're not on the BBC now, Gibbo. You can as much profanity as you like. Don't bother me.
It's red ball cricket is tough if you're a fast bowler. And 20 over cricket, where you're only bowling 4 overs, is jolly sight easier. Or 100 cricket, when you're bowling 20 balls, is easier still. And I honestly think that's more suited to Sonny Baker than bowling long spells in red ball cricket. I just can't.
Yeah.
I hope he proves me completely wrong. But I honestly don't see it at the moment. He's no Malcolm Marshall.
No, but he could be an X factor pick though, couldn't he? They think, well, he can bowl, if he bowls 3-4 over spells a day,
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe that's what they think. I don't know. Or maybe they might take him along for the experience. Who knows? So I think the Lions are out there as well. So I'd be very surprised. He's got to go on the Lions tour. That's an absolute given. And then I think they may just keep him around with the full squad.
He hasn't played much red ball cricket though. He hasn't played much for Hampshire.
Gibbo. Do you not see how this England team works? That doesn't matter to them. Like Jacob, what do they say? Jacob Beffels faced like 16 red balls or something stupid this summer. Doesn't matter to them. If they think he's the right fit, they'll pick him. Anyway, he's not ours now. He's Hampshire's.
At least for now.
At least for now, yeah. Well, hopefully he'll come back. We'll have a mass kind of reverse Pied Piper. All these players will come back in a few years' time. We live in hope. So back to the One Day Cup then. I've got the stats in front of me here. The batting averages are remarkable reading for white ball cricket. I mean, James Rew 62, Vaughan 44, Thomas Rew 44 at 96. Alfie Ogborn 42 at 140. There's a little bit of a skew there. Kean Roberts 40. Lammonby 39 with those 200s. Finn Hill, I thought, had a good tournament, enhanced his reputation as well. He averaged 32, a couple of 50s in there as well. Josh Thomas, who a couple of times he went in, was just required to finish, averaged 29. So really, apart from the little blip up at New Road yesterday, they all had really fine tournaments. I don't think we can complain about any of the batting. The bowling as well was consistently good throughout the tournament. Lammonby obviously being kind of the revelation, stepping up, bringing that balance to the side, potentially could be the replacement for Ben Green his overs in the T20 side. All looking very good.
And they learnt and developed as they went, didn't they? So in the early stages, we lacked Andy Umeed at the top of the order to smack it around a bit and get us going, and got a bit stuck a couple of times with Lammers and Vaughan. But as the competition developed, they seemed to learn how to take the singles where they could and push the scoring along, and developed to really kind of fine opening partnership, which then kind of culminated in the Northants game. So that was really good. And we were worried, chatting not so long ago about, and still are to some extent, Ben Green, going and developing into this great sort of all-rounder finisher, and Josh Thomas has come in and with not many balls to play with, scored quickly, and you can see the potential there to fill that sort of a role. Goldsworthy's bowling and batting has been good. Yeah, there's lots to celebrate. JT Langridge, he's an interesting one, isn't he?
We haven't mentioned JT yet. One of the greatest haircut on the county circuit, I think we can say that JT's got. But there's a lot to like about him as well. He's tall, quick, moves the ball, genuine wicket taker. Clobbered a few in his at the end of one of the innings as well, so he can bat as well. So. And then, of course, we got the two academy lads that came in, James Steedham and Kean Roberts as well. Performed well, didn't let the guys down, looked totally at home. So, a lot of credit to Paul Tweddle and the guys for, taking over in the absence of Jason Kern, getting these guys to perform well as a team.
I was very impressed with the way that Alfie Ogborn.
Oh, I mentioned Alfie. Yeah, there's just so many.
But he and JT Langridge have really come on, I think, over the last year. But both of them equally, and the same goes for Archie Vaughan as well. He's 20% better cricketer now than he was a year ago. He's grown literally. He's about 1.5 inches taller than he was last year. He's grown as a cricketer as well, and I didn't see him in the flesh, but I watched a bit of James Steedham when in the Yorkshire game on the live stream when Bumble was doing the summarising, and Bumble, complimented on a really nice action. He gets side on. He's only young, but he looks very, very promising as well. So I think the future for Somerset pace bowling. I didn't see Kean Roberts, but he fielded blooming well as sub yesterday up at Worcester.
Yep.
So I think there's still some very, very good players coming through the pathway. It's that crucial stage between sort of finishing in the pathway, coming into the side, and then making the progression that we haven't had with Casey Aldridge in particular. That's what they really need to focus on, to turn Alfie Ogborn, for example, from a very, very promising young fast bowler into a real force to be reckoned with in county cricket, sooner rather than later, so that he keeps progressing once he comes into the fully professional game.
And I think looking at Langridge and Ogborn from last year to this year, I mean, Alfie made his debut in 2023, didn't he? In that game against Hampshire before finals day, where we rested pretty much all of our quick bowlers, and he had the sort of the second string attack and didn't let anybody down that day. Played a couple of games I think last year as well. Again, didn't let anybody down. But there's been that progression. You've seen he has improved. Langridge has improved as well. He looks a much better bowler than he did a couple of years ago when he played in the One Day Cup. So touch wood, they've just got to keep progressing. The only caveat I'm kind of worried about is I thought Ned Leonard made progress from 23 to 24 and then he got released. So I'm kind of thinking, what are they looking for in these guys to say, right, we think you're good enough and we kind of want to invest in you?
Yeah, I don't think Ned Leonard made enough progress, All right, he's done well at Glamorgan, but he's not pulling up trees there.
Did all right against us, though, didn't he? Speaking of T20, unless we've got anything more to talk about the One Day Cup semi or the One Day Cup campaign, shall we move on to Saturday night? I still haven't worked out what I'm going to do about my Airbnb and the cancellation up in Birmingham. I'll have to have a think about that.
What's the story?
Oh, did you not hear? Well, I'd be clever. I booked my Airbnb because I'm going to Salisbury races on the Friday night, and then obviously it's finals day on the Saturday. So I booked the Airbnb for Saturday and Friday and Saturday night with free cancellation. I thought, yeah, just free cancellation, that's fine. But the free cancellation expires at midnight on the morning of our game. So midnight Friday night, I'm like, so what do I do? So I can either cancel it and then just kind of keep putting it in and out of my sort of cart on booking.com until I kind of know. So or do I just say, oh, well, let's 140 quid, let's just let it ride and see what happens. So I know that's that. So again, that's the ECB conspiracy against me by putting our semi-final on the Saturday night rather than the Friday night when I would have been absolutely fine. But anyway, but it is, yes, the quarter-final against the Birmingham Bears, Taunton on Saturday night. Presume that Tom Banton's going to be missing.
Yeah.
Being away with England. Now, the last side that we played was against the side we put out against Gloucester. We had two spinners in that, and we kind of played on a sort of non-Taunton-y finals day type slow, low wicket. So whether they'll do that again or whether they feel that may play into Warwickshire's hands. Obviously, we've got Riley Meredith, so I can't see them not preparing a pitch that will benefit him for a one-off knockout game, because it would be inconceivable to call him back from the 100 and then not play him because we're going to play on a Bunsen. So he's got to play. So he'll come back in, presumably. Just to remind you of that side that played Gloucester in the final group game, it was Smead, Lammonby, TKC, James Rue came in and kept wicket in place of Tom Abel, Sean Dixon, Lewis Gregory, Ben Green, then Goldsworthy, Overton, Ball and Leach completed the 11. So Meredith's presumably got to come back in.
Yeah.
We've got the Pretorius conundrum about whether he's going to be fit or not. There was a second 11 game today which he didn't feature in. Alfie Ogborn did. He bowled 4 or 5 overs, I think, opening up, and then presumably that was more of a fitness test than him wanting to take full part in the game. So he could be a potential wild card, but I don't think they will go for him. So, I mean, the questions are, does Tom Abel come back in for James Rew? He's not had a great 100 for the Welsh Flyers Aves. And then what
you need Rew? Oh no, you don't necessarily need Rew to keep wicket if TKC keeps wicket. I suppose.
Oh, spare us that. Spare us that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Rew's got to play. He's got to play.
I think of the two, you look at TKC's outfielding versus Rew's outfielding, and TKC's wicket keeping versus Rew's wicket keeping, and Rew's the better keeper, and TKC's the better outfielder. So it's a no-brainer that if they both play, Rew keeps wicket for me. That's if he does play. So that's for me the only question in the batting, and then in the bowling. So Gregory and Green, you would expect to keep at 6 and 7, and then Goldsworthy, Overton, Ball and Leach, and then Pretorius and Meredith. Do they come in? Meredith in for Leach, I would expect. Although Leach had a much better one-day cup than Lewis Goldsworthy. So, but then was he bowling slightly easier overs? Because yesterday Jack bowled his 10 off the spin, and then Lewis came on sort of in the last 10. So you think, are they seeing Leach off, and then they went to attack Goldsworthy?
I didn't understand why they bowled Goldsworthy at all yesterday.
Yeah.
But, his 1 over went for 11.
Yeah. So do they send? So then is Goldsworthy vulnerable? He does bring you a lot of batting down at the sort of the lower middle order. I mean, he's not let the side down when he's needed to score quick runs this year. So it's quite a conundrum.
Were you playing Lammonby instead of Abel, or were you not playing either of them?
Well, I'm going from...
Tom Abel's got to be in the side.
I would have thought so.
Well, I'm just going
He's such a good fielder apart from anything else.
I'm going from the side that took on the Gloucesters, which was Smead, Lammonby, TKC, Rew, etc. So I'm keeping Smead and Lammonby opening. And I just feel that Rew's in really good nick at the moment, and Abe's isn't. And there's a bit of a law of not necessarily sort of possession, but I know it's so difficult. I mean, or could you play them both, or could you have Rew? Well, you've got to pick Lammonby. He's in brilliant nick coming out the One Day Cup with bat and ball, so he's got to play. I mean, the only other way you could do it would be to bring him in for Dixon. But then Sean Dixon is...
Yeah, you got to play him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? This is such a difficult call for me. I mean, it's... I mean, Rew's had the better August and is currently in the better nick. But then Tom Abel is absolutely class and has been instrumental.
What about playing Thomas Rew?
Oh, big
ass. Is he with the under-19? It's just the under-19s affect that?
Oh, I think probably, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we could call him back if we needed to. I think county championship cricket trumps that.
I'm just thinking, I mean, he's got more funky shots than his elder brother.
Mm.
If you want an X factor, he might be it. I don't know.
But then, remember Surrey, 7 for 3 last year. James dug us out of the proverbial that day. So if James Rew played for any other county, he'd be one of the first names on the team sheet in the T20 side. I don't think that's controversial. So
you could not play ball from your team, so you could have Smead, Lammonby, TKC, Abel, Rue, Dixon, Gregory, Green, Overton, Meredith, Leach, or Goldsworthy Meredith. Lewis Goldsworthy at number 10.
No, I think that's daft. If you're gonna come in at number 10, you want to play the better spinner.
Yeah,
Leach.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with that.
Yeah.
Sweet Lammerby, TKC, Abel, Rude, Dixon, Gregory, Green, Overton, Meredith, and Leach. Sounds pretty good to me.
Good team, isn't it?
Yeah. The trouble is, the one of our batsmen who's actually been in form in the wretched 100 is Tom Banton. although TKC did get runs in his last game, so hopefully he got 80, didn't he?
I don't know. Our guys never seem to do particularly well in the other competition, so
well, he did absolutely nothing until the very last game, and then he got 84. I've been watching I've been keeping up with the Somerset players' progress.
Oh, good.
And it hasn't been great to watch.
Well, it must be difficult because the commentators don't tell you when the Somerset players are the Somerset players.
I know, deliberately, because they're told not to. They're told not to reference county cricket.
I forget.
So I understand.
There was a post from a Surrey member on X saying about they were talking about, is the 100 gonna, drive new faces to the county game? And I think the hideous phrase of cross-pollination was used, as in, the 100 doesn't want to sort of cross-pollinate its marketing. I thought,
I know.
Which absolute twat has said that, and pathetic. But anyway.
Well, it's worse than pathetic. It's actually quite damaging. Yeah, because they're trying to ignore county cricket to make it non-existent.
They want to insulate it because I think
it's cancel culture to county cricket. And given the amount of coverage that the 100 gets from the BBC, from Sky, from the Times, the fact that they're deliberately going out to cancel county cricket is actually potentially very damaging to the county game. It shouldn't just be glossed over. If I'm commentating on a one-day cup game, and something comes up where I, reference it to the 100 as to who Somerset might have playing for them if it wasn't for the 100, and yes, but TKC hasn't been scoring any runs. I'm not afraid to reference the 100. I'm not under a fatwa not to mention. And I don't see why the Sky commentators should be under a fatwa not to refer to county cricket. It's almost, it looks very much as if there is an agenda at the ECB to wipe county cricket off the face of the cricketing map. I don't think there is, but that's the way it's looking at the moment.
Well, this is my perspective on it. I think they're afraid that because county cricket is a better product, and it is a better product than the 100, it may not have the best players. But there's a reason for that. Is because the ECB has shoveled all the money and the prime window for the 100. So that's why it's getting the best players. But I remember seeing a thing with Tom Lammerby when he was playing for Manchester. And there was a little kid. And he was like, Tom Lammerby's my favourite player. And it was one of the things that they did for social media. So Lammers meets him, gives him a signed shirt. Lammerby 15 on the back, big signature. Big hug. I love you, Lammers. You're great. You're my favourite player. Oh, thanks, mate. So good to have you as a fan. Next year, he's off playing for the Yeovil Invincibles. And this kid sat up in Manchester going, but if that kid knows that Tom Lammerby plays for Somerset, then he becomes a Somerset fan because he can watch Tom Lammerby for 5 months of the year instead of 1 month of the year. And then he watches it, realises going, this is actually quite good because when I go to Taunton, I can go to Taunton for 5 months of the year, whereas I can only ever go and watch 100 for 4 weeks of the year. I'll get to know people, I'll grow up, I can go to away games and this, that and the other, and it just becomes better. He forms an emotional attachment to Somerset, and then all of a sudden the Chris Brackett nonsense is forgotten. So that's what I think they're afraid of. And which is why they want to keep the 100 in this little bubble.
They shouldn't be afraid of it. It's all the same game, and the ECB is responsible for the whole game, not just a part of it. It should be promoting the whole game in all of its many aspects. Instead of
Yeah, I mean the 100 doesn't exist without the pathways and our players being served up to perform in it, and we could benefit, and fans of the game could benefit from cross-pollination.
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
in both directions.
Yeah.
We have to see enough of it. I mean, when I went driving through Southampton last Saturday to get on the ship, I saw guess how many Vitality Blast adverts I saw versus the amount. Well, I suppose the Blast had finished, but 100 adverts I saw versus Blast adverts that had seen out of season. So there you go.
Yeah.
And I still maintain that Hampshire should have played their Royal London, Metrobank quarter-final on the nursery ground just to see how big the crowds would have been at the main ground at Utilita Bowl versus the nursery. Something the ECB, I think, would have not liked. Right. Are we going to win Friday, Saturday night?
Tough game.
Tough. I think...
Who have the Bears not got? This is the Bears side in their last game against Derbyshire. Alex Davies, he'll be playing. Tom Latham, he'll be playing, presumably, New Zealander.
Yeah, I think he stayed for the Metro.
Dan Mosley?
Mosley? I think so.
Yeah.
Jacob Bethel, I guess, is with England.
He will be with England, yeah. So he cancels
Ed Barnard, good cricketer.
Yeah.
What about George Gart? Is he going to be with England?
No.
Danny Briggs? No.
I would be there, I expect, yeah.
No.
Hassan Ali? Rob Yates? Richard Gleeson?
Don't
know. Really.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the England squad, no.
And Jake Hintot, who we know all about.
Yeah. Sam Hain.
No, he's injured. Isn't Sam Hain injured?
Is he?
I don't know.
This is a kind of analysis.
he's one of those players that, Yeah.
If he is available, he'll certainly strengthen them, yeah.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Warwickshire have had a very, the Birmingham Bears have had a very, very lean time of it in quarterfinals over the last few years, and we've had bountiful success in them. And so you could say that, well, it's the form side against the non-form side, or you could say that Birmingham are due a win and we're overdue a loss. So all to play for. Well, it's just whoever turns up on the night, isn't it? Somerset didn't really turn up on Sunday. Worcestershire did. So let's hope the fortunes favour the home side again.
I don't think he is injured. No, I'm afraid. I think he will be in the Bears side.
Yeah.
And then less than 48 hours after that, County Championship resumes with a proper ball at the earliest start time of 10:30. Don't forget, Gibbo, don't you wander into that commentary box late on Monday morning.
No.
After a day at Eli's on Sunday. I don't think we're going to bother recording one on Sunday, so we kind of need to preview the championship as well. But, there's quite a... Banton will be missing for that as well, so that's a spot. I presume that given Davies' absence in the one-day cup, he's not going to be available for selection, but that's yet to be confirmed. That's just kind of where I am with it. I think Vaughan opening in the one-day cup was a prelude to him opening for the rest of the season in the championship. I think you've just got to...
We need a proper opening partnership.
Yeah. So I think that plaster's going to be ripped
no
off.
No more makeshift opening partnerships.
Yeah. So Archie will be restored at the top of the order with
Tom
Lammonby, not TKC.
Well, I like left-hand, right-hand combination for opening partnership. It makes it that much more difficult for the bowlers to get in the groove.
That's right. We'll have Keaton Jennings next year, so it'll be Vaughan and Jennings. But for the meantime, I think we'll say TKC.
Yeah, get Matt Renshaw back.
I don't think you can not have TKC opening though, unless you put him in Banton's slot at 6, which is vacant, but then who goes in? Go Vaughan and Gregory.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, Gregory's got the technique to open.
So is Cola Cadmore. To be fair, he's not. A couple of times he just plays a little bit out in front of his pad, I think, sometimes. But generally, his movements are good and they're positive. And he's very confident, which is half the battle.
He got 200. He got 200s, both of them against the Kookaburra.
Yeah.
On pretty flat wickets, to put it mildly.
But if he hadn't got 200s, we wouldn't be saying.
Honestly, he's not much cop against the moving ball on moving Duke's ball. You need someone with a more conventional technique. I'm a great admirer of Tom Kohler-Cadmore, and I thoroughly enjoyed the 2 centuries that he scored. But I just can't see him scoring runs against the Duke ball from against that Yorkshire attack on. I don't know what sort of pitch it's going to be at Taunton, but I guess it'll be more of a result pitch than not, because Somerset need to win.
They do, and the only way we get result pitches at Taunton is to make them rag. So
you'd normally hope to have 2 spinners, wouldn't you, at this time of the season? And we might even get to see Bashir, but with the penalty investigation and all that hanging over us, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going Vaughan and TKC. I don't think you can axe TKC with the form that he's shown, albeit against the Kookaburra ball. And then Lammerby, Ruable. 6 is interesting. Do we go Thomas Rue?
Yeah, go on, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose.
Do we go, potentially Finn Hill or Josh Thomas and move Gregory up?
No.
Goldsworthy.
Will Smith.
Too many tries, has he?
Give Thomas Rue a go, as long as he's available.
Yeah. Or
what about giving Smead a game at the top of the order? We talked about him before.
I'd go for that.
I'm influenced by you, Anthony, as much as anything else in making that suggestion. So this conversation has become a bit circular. But
although the only thing
don't know what cricket he's been playing. Well,
he's been playing for Birmingham Phoenix.
100, of course, isn't he?
Spectacular success.
What leans me away from them playing Smead is he didn't play in that second 11 game today. So I just wonder if he's not figuring in their plans.
He ought to be given a chance, for goodness sake.
I'm not saying that. I agree, but if they did have him inked in for Yorkshire, I would expect him to have played in that 4-day game today.
If they don't, he'll be off with the rest of them. He'll be off somewhere else, and then he'll turn into a really, top class opening or middle order batsman.
Well, or Josh Thomas. I mean, it's
it's.
I think of the raw talent, it's Smead and Thomas Rue who are the 2 most talented.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I've got the highest ceilings. We would like to talk about ceilings.
Yeah.
I go Smead, I reckon, because they could get Smead in for the second innings of that game. When did Birmingham Phoenix last play? Last played on Wednesday, so that's quite a window. But then this is the side that I'm picking, not the side that I think they'll pick. Then Gregory at 7, Pretorius at 8, Ogborne at 9, and then Overton and Leach.
Well, I think Overton's got to come in before Ogborne.
Well, yeah.
Did Thomas Rue lose out as a result of us putting Smead in?
I think he has, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'd settle for one or the other.
Yeah, I'd be happy with either. But I think on the balance of Thomas Rue's going to be away with the under-19s, and I think, as Gibbo said, if you're gonna give, there was all this fanfare at the start of the season, but Will Smead has now got a red ball contract. Well, great. Well, we're into September, and we've not seen him in whites yet, apart from for the second. So,
yeah, and plenty of other people have had a chance to make that opening slot their own, and so why not try someone else? It'll add to Dan's spreadsheet of opening partnerships.
My lattice. I'll have to redo the lattice if we do have a new one. Well, I'm opening with Vaughan and TKC, and I'm bringing Smead in at 6. So, Good stuff. Right. I mean, can we win the championship? It's looking unlikely. I've had 50 quid each way, so they need to finish in the top 3 for me to not do my money. So anything top 3, and I'll be more or less showing a slight profit. But I think it's slightly beyond us. It's got to be Surrey's, isn't it? Really, unless there's a miracle.
Well, we've still got this points penalty hanging over us as well.
Yeah, I think we'd have probably heard about that by now, wouldn't we?
Well, I was rather I thought about it this morning. I thought, well, they really must make some sort of announcement before the Yorkshire game on Monday.
Yeah.
So that everybody knows where they stand, because it's not just Somerset that are affected; it's all the other counties challenging it.
You'd like to think the consideration of that issue was completely hermetically sealed from the views we might or might not take on how many county championship matches there should be next season, which is another live issue of debate with the ECB at the moment. I'm sure these things are completely separate.
Are you suggesting the ECB is saying to the Somerset chairman that we'll let you off a points penalty if you agree to 12 county championship matches?
Of course they wouldn't. I mean that would be absolutely extraordinary and outrageous, wouldn't I think? Unfortunately, the cynicism with which I approach these kind of debates and discussions, and the way in which decisions are being kind of drawn out and taken, it does lend itself to us speculating about conspiracy theories of one sort or another, because there's such a lack of logic to the position and the processes. So no, I don't, and I of course need to be careful as the president not to suggest these things in the slightest could possibly be happening. But it's just, I feel completely worn out by the whole kind of, we still don't know the outcome of that, and we still don't know the outcome of what the season's going to look like next year, because apparently the counties individually and collectively have yet to come up with the right answer.
Well, they've got to come up with an answer soon. When's the key meeting?
Next week.
Next week, is it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, the key meeting was some weeks ago, but clearly nothing was agreed. So it rumbles on. But there is another meeting next week.
Are we going to go 2 first divisions and a third, or are we going to stay where we are?
Well, if you believe what's in the newspapers, you've really sketched out the 2 options. If they can't get 12 counties to vote for anything, then everything has to stay as it is. There is this speculation that there'll be the 2 divisions of 6 who then play one another in a manner where the top ones play the top ones and the bottom ones play the bottom ones, and then it does make that kind of second division of 6 a really desperately boring place to be. So if that's where we end up, you'd absolutely want to be one of the top 12 counties, but Somerset always have been. But the sting in the tail is that all the configurations of that approach mean losing 1 or more games. And Somerset's position is that we support 14 county championship games. So,
Dan's point makes the most sense to me, that what we've got isn't the best option, but it is the least worst option. And the reason it hasn't changed is because people can't come up with a better one.
Yes.
That doesn't involve scrapping the other competition.
Yeah.
Just go back to your point about diplomacy, Pete. I think your point was made a lot more diplomatically than a certain other president of a county that we recently faced in a championship game at Taunton, who shall remain nameless. But if you want to know his name, it's slapped in 8-foot-high letters on that derelict stand next to the tone. Moving on. So we quickly go through some listeners' questions before we knock this on the head then. Sajid Mahmood asks, is Matt Henry available for Saturday's quarterfinal? It's looking unlikely, but we live in hope because we haven't heard anything confirmed either way. So, but don't hold your breath, Sajid. One from Alex. Do you think the absence of recruitment or even rumour of recruitment is due to mismanagement a decision to promote younger players, Ogborn and Langeridge, or a general budget cut as we can no longer compete with 100 clubs financially?
No. Well, it's not the budget cut.
No.
It's not mismanagement, because I think the club is extremely well run, whether you're talking about finances or staffing or players. I think I have the faith that Messrs. Hurry and Kerr have something, or perhaps several things, up their sleeves.
Well, they need to.
I'm sure they do. But they will know that
now that we're potentially knocking 4 confirmed, 5 with Bashir we expect to be leaving as well. So there's a big pot to be spent there. Sure
we have to bear in mind that Jack Leach will probably lose his central contract, and so he will then have to be paid for by the club. So that's a financial pressure which we didn't have previously. But yeah, I think we can make competitive offers for players. We need a convincing package of why they should come to us. And one of the challenges we do have in many areas, competition for places, don't we? And I think we're straightforward talkers, and some counties promise things which don't then materialise for players when they eventually turn up there. But surely, although there aren't very many of them around, people who can score runs at the top of the order,
Keaton Jennings,
Matt Renshaw,
there's at least one vacancy at Somerset for someone in that sort of space. So we just need to convince them, as I was convinced, that Taunton is the place to live and Somerset is where you want to come and bring up your children.
And Somerset player, you can just call Peter anytime you want. He'll fire up the disco lights in the party barn, and you can anytime you want it. It's available at extremely cheap rates for hire to all Somerset players. One other thing we do need, when you're talking about things that will attract players to Taunton, is the wicket. If you're a quick bowler, you want to be going somewhere where you feel that you've got a bit of a chance, somewhere that's got a bit of pace and bounce and a bit of life. And I think that's the key as well, getting some life into those wickets, and giving bowlers something to work with. Keith is with you, Gibbo. For the championship match next week, we need to be in attack mode. Smeed and TKC to open.
Yeah, good. Yeah, why not? We've got nothing to lose. We're not going to get relegated.
We've got my £100 to lose, Gibbo. Thank you very much. Third place, all better. Rob Reed says, as 2 into 1 doesn't go, how do we keep both Roos at the club if they both want to play for England as keeper batters? Well, one will be playing for England and one will be playing for Somerset.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're both supremely talented. I think they'll both fit into the side. I think I'm not particularly, from what I've heard, I'm not particularly sold on the idea that either of them is particularly wedded to wicket keeping. I think Thomas is an absolutely sensational outfielder. James is no slouch as well. They've both got excellent ball skills. So I don't think, I might be speaking out of place, I'm not sure, but I don't think keeping wicket is as big a deal as it was back in the Butler Keyswetter situation. But I think they can both coexist quite happily. You could share the duties across different competitions if you felt like they both wanted to go with the gloves. But I think I don't see a problem there at all. Alan Brown believes in a conspiracy theory. Sonny Baker's got the nod now. He's not playing for that county, who are unfashionable in the eyes of selectors, Somerset. But congratulations again.
Well, that's a ridiculous thing to say.
I don't know. James Hildreth and Pete Trieger might disagree with you. Matt Waller as well.
Sher Bashir.
Well, that's true.
Tom Banton.
Yeah, but Tom Abel, James Rue. Anyway, we could talk about
Tom Abel hasn't just done, and what James Rue is on the very fringe of the England side.
Yeah.
And Tom Abel, in all honesty, lovely bloke though he is, he's never done quite enough to make a case as an England player, a Test player.
Sad note to end the podcast on. Will Smead has Gibbo, got some good news for you. There's a new T10 tournament in town.
Yeah.
The Canadian Super 60. That runs from the 8th to the 13th of October. We are officially supporting the Brampton Blitz. Two of their players are Will Smead and Roloff van der Merwe. So I think that's a no-brainer as to who we're following in that 5 or 6 day tournament. So the Canada Super 60, I think. Look out for that in the middle of October. And sad news as well, Trevor Griffin will be standing down as Somerset Women's head coach.
Yeah, it is sad. He's a nice guy.
He's
really
a lovely
nice
bloke.
guy.
He's a lovely bloke, Trevor. And I sort of just wondering, I mean, what is, do you think, the difference between being Somerset Women and Western Storm? Because it's essentially the same leadership team of Sophie Love and Trevor Griffin. More or less the same group of players. Certainly the core is pretty much the same. I just wonder, is there a bit of extra pressure being Somerset rather than Western Storm being that kind of sort of nomadic existence where, you know, you kind of haven't got the scrutiny maybe of being a county club? I don't know.
Well, I think it's just we finished bottom of the league. That's the problem.
Yeah. Sad note to end on then.
And And I did drop Trevor a short line and reminded him that we'd always have Beckenham.
Yeah, we'll always have Beckenham. Of course, he did lead Western Storm to, was it 1 or 2 KSL trophies back in the day? Certainly at least one in 2017, I think. Or was it 2 after that? I can't remember.
I expect he'll be successful somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
he's a great guy, but anyway, I think everyone's agreed it's time for a change, and so, you know, fair play and good luck to Trevor. As you say, he's a great bloke. Yeah,
definitely. Wishing Trevor all the best wherever life takes him next year. I've not got anything else. Do we have any other business before we knock us on the head for another week?
I don't think so. It's getting dark. I need to go and feed the hedgehogs.
Feed the
I need some
hedgehogs.
supper.
Fair dues. And I need to get back in before my wife gets annoyed with me that she's got to put the kids to bed again. Right. Cheers, guys. See you all on
See you
Saturday night.
Saturday.
Cheerio. Come on, Somerset.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.